New Zealand's green-lipped mussels. They're not only getting people's taste buds excited, but asthma sufferers as well. A trial has found that a simple pill containing fatty acids extracted from the shellfish is effective in getting chronic asthma sufferers off their medication to an extent and reducing their symptoms. And joining me now is James Brady, who was involved in the Lipronol trial, and also Asthma New Zealand nurse Ann Wheat, who was in the research team for the study. Thank you both very much for coming in. James, I want to start off by asking you, just give us an idea of how bad your asthma has been as you've been growing up.
Well, I had my first asthma attack when I was 2, and then every few weeks I was going to the hospital with an asthma attack.
Every few weeks, and it was so serious that you had to go to hospital as a precaution. And then you were invited to be one of about 70 kids in this trial taking this Lipronol substance, and it's taken through pills?
Yes.
What sort of a difference has it made?
It's made a big difference. I don't go to hospital as much. I don't really go to hospitals at all, and I don't have asthma attacks so often.
But you are still taking your normal medication with it as well, which is an important thing to stress, isn't it? So it's helped you enormously, although it hasn't completely relieved the need for medication. And this substance, Lipronol, this magic ingredient, can you explain easily why it's having an effect?
Lipronol's a natural anti-inflammatory, so it's useful for not only asthma, but like for people with arthritis, which is where it was used in the beginning, and then we did the trial for the asthma children to see if it would help them for moderate to severe people. And
it seems as though, when you talk to people like James, it has. Were you sceptical initially that it would have such an effect?
Most probably not too much, because I did know a little bit about it with having arthritis myself and using it myself, so I knew what it had done for me to help with my arthritis pain, so that was good.
And what sort of improvements, we've spoken to James about how he feels, what sort of improvements did you see with some of the other children involved in the trial?
It did help improve their quality of life, which showed a trend for improved quality of life, and it also showed a trend for reduction of exacerbations, so that's really important.
But as I was just saying with James, it hasn't removed the need for medication.
No,
Has it reduced the need for medication?
It didn't. We couldn't actually prove that. That was one of the endpoints that we wanted, but we could not actually prove that. But so people have to continue with their normal medication.
So it was slightly inconclusive in that way.
Correct.
James, have you been continuing with the pills since the trial?
I have.
You have, and I mean, would you even describe it so much as life-changing as far as your lifestyle goes? I mean, just, I guess, surely, purely by the fact you're no longer having to go to hospital every 2 or 3 weeks, plus the fear of that? That's fantastic. So, impact-wise, and what sort of impact would this research have, let's say, on everyday New Zealanders, beyond the 70 children who were initially involved?
If people are still having symptoms with asthma, and it's most probably worth a trial of Lipronol to see if it's going to help, alongside the normal medication, and I can't stress that enough, that they must continue with their normal medication. So it's an adjunct, it adds on to that, and so it's worth a trial to see if it's going to help. People would have to be a little careful if they've got a shellfish allergy.
Yeah, sure.
So something like that would be something to stop them using it. But
what about price?
Price, that could also, the cost is quite expensive, but it's worth giving it a go.
Is this something which Pharmac has had a look at?
No, not that I know of, because it's a natural food supplement, so it's not actually a medication.
Right, OK. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, James and Anne, for coming in. James Brady, who's obviously going to be a Lipronol fan from now on, I would imagine.
Yes.
And Anne, thank you very much also.